cool thing about where I'm at right now, this is what's called Seaport District, is this is the memorial to the Titanic. This is not its original location. It was actually located on top of a different building that actually would act as like a clock, really, because the at noon, synchronized, for the ships in harbor, regulated by an observatory in DC, there would be a ball that would kind of come down to signify high noon. So this is where the memorial for the Titanic is, and the little plaque here talks a little bit about it. It was moved here in the 1960s, but this is where it was, and this was actually originally built in 1913. This is the Seaport tree, and it's actually just outside of the museum here. New York City, the reason why it's such an important city, even during the revolutionary times, was that it's access to the shipping lanes and merchant ships, and most of our major cities were port cities. The reason why New Orleans was so important to everyone, called Narlands, was because it was a seaport in a warm part of the country that the United States desperately needed access to, and that's the reason why we pushed to purchase New Orleans from the French, because it was a port town. But this is a tree, and this area is pretty wide open. Everyone can kind of get down here, do some pictures. Again, I like the warmth of the glow. I'm seeing a lot of these trees areas are doing kind of, and there's a little place here for dining. Now, this whole area is actually really pretty. So you kind of look down here, and a lot of the stuff isn't, just this time of year. A lot of the stuff is actually lit up quite nicely throughout the entire year. But if you come around here, look at some of these older buildings here and down here. These look really, really pretty. And as you can see, there's another menorah right there. Again, thank you for celebrating all of us Jews and the celebration of Hanukkah, because it's very cool. And if you come over here, again, this is little snowflakes on the side of the building, the ice pick theaters. As you can kind of see, as I get over here, there's a ship. And guess what's on top of that ship? Technically, even though it's not a real tree, that's the tallest Christmas tree here in New York City, because it's so far up in the air. But it's a ship. All right, so now I'm at Washington Square Park. This is the giant arch down here. This is at the terminal end of 5th Avenue. And as you turn around, you can see the Empire State Building right behind me. And this is Washington Square Park. A lot of politicians come here and do speeches. I'm kind of in the NYU area, which is just down behind me over here, this way. But a lot of politicians, like Elizabeth Warren had rallies here, Bernie Sanders, a lot of the upper tier candidates will have rallies here in New York City. But this is the tree here, and it is very beautiful. As you can see, it's very tall. You can see there's statues of George Washington on either side of the arch, and this is the tree at Washington Square. So now I'm basically going to be going up 5th Avenue. I'm going to hit the Flatiron Building, heading up back north, and we're going to see where that takes us. Okay, everyone, I've gone up 5th Avenue, and now I am in Madison Square. In fact, the original Madison Square Garden used to be over there. Madison Square Garden got its name from being in Madison Square. It's a very, very tall building that I believe now is a courthouse. So this is the Madison Square tree. Again, the warmth lights. there's a lot of other little lights and stuff. There's actually a little tree right here that's not so decorated up. Maybe they should decorate that. But you see the Empire State Building? As I go uptown, up Fifth Avenue, it'll keep getting bigger and bigger. The origins of the Christmas tree don't come from a massive spectacle of light. It literally comes from the light of the moon shining through the branches of a pine tree in the cold winter, and it glistens off the icy frozen branches and glistened. And that's where the kind of the original origin of the tree comes from. It gets a little more complicated than that, but you guys aren't really here for that right now. But yeah, here's the Madison Square tree, and there's the clock tower here, Madison Square. All the squares are basically where Broadway intersects with one of the major avenues. And I'm traveling up Fifth Avenue, and you just kind of see it behind me here. They're doing some work to it, but that's the Flatiron Building, and its wedge shape is because it's wedged in between Broadway and Fifth Avenue. And the T-Mobile store at the base of it now, but they're doing some work to it. They are always upkeeping these buildings, as they should. But yeah, this is the Flatiron Building of New York. A lot of people like that building. It's an iconic building here in Manhattan. So I'm going to keep going and see what other trees we can find. Hope you're enjoying this little tour of Manhattan with me and all the Christmas trees. I will see you all at the next stop. Okay guys, now I'm back in the Midtown area, and I'm at the New York Public Library in Manhattan on the corner of 40th and 5th Avenue. So you can kind of follow this track. 5th Avenue has a lot of trees, right? So this is the one in the public library. It's indoors, so people can go see it even when it's a little cold outside. And this is another one who has the menorah for Hanukkah. Other than the one down at the financial area with the stock exchange, I haven't seen much for Kwanzaa. Really, so far it's just been Hanukkah and Christmas. But maybe they should look into having more Kwanzaa festive stuff, because there are a lot of people here in New York City that I'm sure celebrate Kwanzaa. So, and I know there's a lot of Muslim holidays during this time period as well, and so maybe a little bit more representation on all that, because like I'm loving the Hanukkah stuff, I really am. But you know, there's a lot of people in this city that celebrate a variety of different holidays, and you know, it's part of the season everyone has a shared enjoyment in, so we should have more than this. Isn't about being woke or whatever. This is just about having more representation of what the people in this city actually represent. And so the Christmas tree is great. The large menorah is awesome, but I think we should see some more of the other representations as well. But I am digging all these menorahs, guys. I'll be honest, I love them. I remember back in the first day of Hanukkah, we had that big parade. I got the police escort all throughout Manhattan. That was an amazing time to celebrate being Jewish and making the celebration of lights famous, because that's the reason why we celebrate Hanukkah, is to make the holiday famous, make the miracle of Hanukkah and how that whole event played out, make that well known and famous. So that's the whole point of putting the lights in the window, so that everyone can remember the Maccabees and holding out and relighting the menorah in the temple to the return of Judaism to the Jews. So from the Seleucids. So, all right, so I got a few more left to go. The Bryant Park Grill, which is basically tagged on to another part of the Manhattan, New York City Public Library, has this beautiful tree up. Typically, you'd have to be inside the restaurant to see it, but they have this outdoor eating area set up, so they have it closed out here, so you can actually kind of see it. So, yeah, Bryant Park has a couple of trees all right next to it. Two in the, basically through the New York Public Library, and then the one I showed you earlier that's in the Christmas market. So, all right, I'm on my way up to the next tree. I just kind of saw that one and said, you know what? It's out here. It's nicely decorated. It's there. It's participating. So I might as well include it, right? All right, on to the next one. So I'm actually in my favorite subway station in the entire city, Turnstile. This is the Columbus Circle area. And I missed this earlier. They have a menorah. I haven't seen a tree, but they've got the menorah. It's not lit, but it's like 2 in the morning, so I'm not gonna sue them, right? But yeah, there's no tree down here that I've seen. But I'm in Columbus Circle. There's actually a lot of stuff going around here. But yeah, so saw that one. I'll make a little stop. So thank you, Turnstile, for the menorah. No tree, but that's okay, right, guys? So the Jews know how it goes. It's probably done by one of the merchants. It's their own. Who knows? But upward bound. Alright guys, so now I'm up at Lincoln Center. This is on Broadway, just north of Columbus Circle, and this is the tree located here. Not a very tall one. You can see a little bit of a variances in the lights. It's not all the same like warm yellow glow. There's some of that white like LED style lighting too that's evident on this tree. I think it looks really nice. There's actually a seated area along here that's not tore down, unlike most of the areas that have these seatings. They tear it down at night, but this tree is still up and lit. All the tables, everything are still up, and seats. So if you really want to have a seat, you could. But I like the decorations on this one. Still very, very simple and classic. The contrast of this, the silver and gold, is very nice. And I like the way it's framed. You really can't probably see it so much with the light, but the other trees that are around it are actually quite, they kind of frame it all very well. Another thing, guys, you guys probably can't see this, but it is Christmas Eve now, and the clock behind me, you can't see what time it is, but it's Christmas Eve, and it's starting to just barely snow. It's kind of off and on, but it is snowing ever so slightly, and I think that's kind of cool. So, all right, we're almost done, guys. It is now officially like coming down snowing. Check that out. This is we're gonna have a white Christmas possibly in New York City. So what a magical kind of journey I've had tonight. Like it started snowing in the middle of this process, and now as I'm reaching the end, it's actually coming down quite hard. Anyway, I'm at the Bloomberg Tower, and this is actually one of the really coolest looking surroundings for a tree. I mean, just kind of, I was staying out of the picture for a while, but just check that out. I mean, that is absolutely magnificent, really. Anyway, so this is kind of in Midtown, still kind of Manhattan. I think I'm like 56th, 57th Street, somewhere in there, on the close to along the Avenue of America, so like 6th Avenue, Park, that area. So, but now look, here's the thing. It's all these bright white lights now with the snow. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. I mean, this is real. I mean, that's you know, kind of the magical part of the whole thing is the snow on the trees, you know, and the light shining through it and glistening off the snow. This is real, and listen to the echo in this little echo chamber. Speaking of Bloomberg, right? So yeah, this is the Bloomberg Tower, and there's the acoustics here make an amazing echo. Which I don't know if you guys can hear or not, but it's quite present. But no, this is amazing. I'll probably could do some close-up shots. But the trees kind of sparkles. You can kind of see that here and there. That it's kind of sparkles in areas, but only a couple trees really do that. But no, this is absolutely amazing, guys. I have a few more trees left to hit. I mean, not many, like 2 or 3, but I mean, if that many. I gotta check. I think I'm almost done. I think I'm gonna head back. I think I'm gonna go down past 5th to Rockefeller. And I think there's like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 2 trees left. So, but no, this is what a great journey we've had, guys, going through all these trees, and this the magicness of the snow coming down towards the end. And we might have a white Christmas here in New York City. I mean, that's great. So, I'm gonna do some close-up shots and some photography here because it's awesome. So I'm gonna take the opportunity to make that happen. I'll grab a couple of really nice shots going through Manhattan. I'll probably I'd stop in Times Square. So I'll see you guys on the flip side.